Good evening, primetime partiers. It's primetime party time. Welcome back to our hour of all things media and entertainment, live on the air at 9 p.m. at ptptshow.com and on your time, wherever you stream podcasts. Tonight, we are going to do a trivia night, as well as talk about TV misconceptions. Listener Mary is joining us this evening to chime in and host some trivia rounds, and cheers to a featured cocktail of the evening. So we're ready to get back into it and try out this new format, do some trivia. But yeah, first off, welcome to the show, Mary.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Very happy to have you, and to toast and roast with our cucumber gin Collins, though I will admit that mine is of raspberry variety because my cucumbers spoiled.
It looks as refreshing.
It looks pretty nice. Yeah, it tastes pretty good as well. But ooh, your guys look extremely like end of summer cocktail situations. I say end of summer as if summer does not go on for like 2 more months in Southern California. But
yeah, it's just getting started over here.
Really, it is.
And I do have a variation of the drink on my end as well.
Yeah.
So, because I haven't had gin intentionally, I'm sure I've had it in mixed drinks, but running to the store today, I was like looking, I was like, I don't know if one's better than the other. And I saw there was a Seagram's watermelon one.
Ooh.
So I got that. And since there's cucumbers in here, it reminded me of the old school cucumber melon lotions and stuff people were in middle school, you know? Yeah.
I like it. It's retro going on with our themes, because a lot of these trivia questions will be going back to either previous PTPT episodes as well as our lexicon of shows and films. But Daniel, what is your toast and roast for this week, as we are cheersing around virtually?
We did an episode on Primetime Party Time a long time ago called a show about a show within shows.
Yes.
And recently, I heard about this on another entertainment podcast called Cord Killers. But I heard about this site called Nestflix, which acts as, when you log into this, when you type in nestflix.com, you go to this site, and it looks like your standard sort of Netflix, I guess, browser, or what it would look like. But you can pop around, and you can't watch any of the shows, but it acts as sort of a wiki for a ton of awesome show within shows. So there's all sorts of stuff from all of the show within shows, from the Simpsons universe, from movies, from all sorts of different TV shows. They have pictures, they have cast notes, they play it all straight, like it's all, actual real productions. And it's a really fun little site that someone just made. So yeah, that's definitely a toast. Double toast this week, actually, because we, technically, it hasn't been seasoned for most of the time that we've been doing the show, but another part of television that probably will never be talked about much on this show, football's back, which means fantasy football's back. I'm going into my 3rd year, and I'm very, very excited that it just makes you care in a whole other way. It opens up a whole world of fun, and I got the email just before the show, and I am stoked.
I like hearing the drama that ensues from fantasy football, but as someone who does not really watch or participate in football season, but I do like that part. And I did watch, what was it called? What's the show about fantasy football?
The League?
The League. Yeah, I watched The League. I liked The League.
I didn't know there was a show about fantasy football.
Need to watch The League.
It's pretty funny. It has Nick Kroll. That was like one of his kind of like earlier roles, and a few other people that end up on a lot of other shows. Like one of the guys is like a love interest on like the Mindy Project, and yeah, they all they're all in the comedy world. So it's a fun time, and it's just funny too, because it's It's very much how guys get about, and ladies, how people who are into fantasy football get. But yeah, that is fun. Do you have any roasts for this week?
You
Are you
know,
feeling under roast?
I can't tell. Yeah, you can never tell. At this stage in sort of life, with
Yeah,
coming out of being sort of secluded for a year,
that's true.
when you start entering certain social scenes.
I mean, we all got to recalibrate the
gotta
social
recalibrate.
batteries a little bit.
Right. Yeah, you got to decide who you are, and who you want to be, and not really. Yeah, I'm struggling not to
It's just
curse.
like shaking off social situations, because I
Yeah.
think before you just have interactions that just like went like floop right over the
Totally.
head, and
Totally.
now when they're a little bit like more fewer and far between, it just sticks with you of like, was that the wrong joke?
I know it's like retraining. It's
Deep shame.
Yeah. I think Mary, we were talking this week, and what'd you say? You were going back to school, right? And I was sitting here, and I want to go back to school just to relearn all the social aspects of it.
Yes, I'm like trying to brush off the rust, and like even today was the first day back, and I'm just like, how do I do this? What do I do with my hands?
Where do they all go? Oh no, it's true. And I have only been going back to the office like once a week for like, I think, a month. And even the first few times, you just like go through a lot of like things of like, oh, okay, should I, get my coffee now? Like, is it too weird to take a break to go do this? Like, you just like forget all of your regular office interactions. Like, do I say hi to random people, or are they gonna be weird about that? Like, you just overthink.
It feels so foreign.
areas.
Yeah. And I mean, half of the time I'm like, is this just an awkward situation now after the pandemic, or have I always been this awkward? And I just like
is it just being illuminated to me now?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
No, I think we're all going through a version of that
readjustment period.
Yes, for sure. I can attest to that. But yeah, toasts and roast for you, Mary. Do you have a toast or roast or both for this week?
I actually have a double toast.
Oh, let's go.
I'll start with a roast so I don't end on a negative note. But actually, well, I had a plumbing issue this week. And I think like the whole millennial, like, we don't really buy houses so much. And I bought a house like however many years ago. And I think I romanticized the idea of like getting a fixer-upper and like making it how I want, but my house was built in 1970. So replacing some things like are so outdated. I can't just get like a regular replacement for like a part or whatever. I have to replace the whole thing. So I actually had to get like a whole new faucet when I just needed like a little part. But anyways, so that's my roast. That was just frustrating, right?
Plumbing is always frustrating.
Right. Yeah. And then my other roast, you guys kind of know a little bit about this, but I'm always reminded, especially at the beginning of a semester, and I'm introducing myself to people or faculty, my name.
Yes.
Yes. So I go by Mary, but my government name is Jerry, which confuses a lot of people, and it's spelled like a guy. So that's always confusing. So that is my other roast. Yeah. And
having to reintroduce yourself to everyone like, I am Mary.
Right.
But you might see me on the roster as Jerry.
Right. Well, like today I got some, because I've been out of school this like past year during the pandemic. I introduced myself to somebody in this new, like I'm in the class of 2023 now, right? So I introduced myself. I was like, hey, can I get your number in case like I have a question? We could just like bounce ideas off of each other. And I put my name in her phone as Mary, and the professor took attendance, and she asked like, "Oh, Jerry," and I was like, "Oh, me," and you could just like see the girl off to the left like looking really confused, you know. Anyways, so that's my roast, just lifelong roast.
A lifelong roast of a radio contest.
Right, exactly. Yep, just to win free diapers for a year. My name is Jerry. So anyways, yeah, my toast though, pandemic related. I had to wait 5 months for couches. So I got new couches. And
Yay.
I'm so excited just to finally get them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean things had to shut down for a little bit out of necessity during the pandemic, but so they're backlogged a bit, but I'm excited to just have furniture in my living room now. And then my other one is just also kind of pandemic related. I am 28 years old, but I do have braces, so I get them off tomorrow actually.
Woot, woot.
So exciting. But if it was gonna happen, if I was gonna have braces for a year, the pandemic, obviously sucks, but at least they were hidden behind a mask the whole year. So
yeah. I feel this. I feel like there's some situations where I'm like, wearing a mask is kind of nice. Like, it's kind of nice to be like, not that it's like no one's gonna recognize you, Tracy. But like, there is times where it's nice to feel like really anonymous.
Right? Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Definitely like cruising through San Marcos. If I'm like, I kind of like want to look like trash and run errands, and there's like a 40% chance I'll run into someone I know. It's like nice to be in a mask and be like, cool. I'm not gonna like look my worst. And see like people that I haven't seen in years and be like, oh, hey there, Trace. Is that you? Like, now you don't know. If I got sunglasses on and a mask, I am a mystery.
I'm just gonna keep walking.
that part is nice. Or just like, yeah, if you just like having like a little bit of acne, you're just like, I don't need to put makeup on. I could just put on like acne cream, mask, and be like, who am I? Who am I? I thought for a while that we would get like start putting like, if I was like, if this becomes really long term, we could put like make masks that have like skin treatments in them and be like, I'm dual tasking at all times. But I'm sure the sweat would probably not be helpful for that. But for the wintertime, it could be a thing. So that's my pitch. That's my Shark Tank pitch.
Right on.
Like face masks that are face masks. But I know that is like a nice thing too. Like, when you like Google face masks or like or search within websites, I'm always like, oh, I forget now that there's two. Like if I want the ones that I self-care with and the ones that I like, I guess also self-care with. different purposes. But yeah, those are very good toasts and roasts. My toast. I always some good toasts. Oh yeah, my main toast is I got a promotion last week, and I could not talk about it on the podcast last week because it was not publicized until Tuesday. So that is a fun time. My job is pretty much the same-ish. It's very much more of like a title boosty, but it's doing pretty much what I was doing before. So, woo! Yay!
Congrats!
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. That being said, like I'm already like dealing with the roast of like, more management responsibilities than I had before. Like literally come back and go like, yep, there's a pro and there's a con list to moving up and more responsibilities, but all good things. All good things. And then I went to the beach with one of my buddies, and yeah, it was definitely a good, nice like reset and getting back into the week. My main roast, I actually haven't told you about, Daniel, but as some are aware, as a reoccurring character on this podcast, is that I have very much the neighbor from Hades.
Oh yes.
Me. And last week he definitely made a threatening comment to my boyfriend.
I'm sorry.
So
what?
Then I had to call the authorities.
What?
And like start a case. And then I also let the HOA know because I'm like, truly, this should be a problem. But yeah, that's taken a turn. So far, so good otherwise. But yeah, that was just one where I was like, this is gonna be more of an issue than I than I had thought. But I guess in hindsight, he likes to kind of throw out a lot of comments. So we're just hoping that he's just like an all talks kind of person. And then if not, well, then we will have to, contact our resources. So
I don't know what he expects just living in a community.
he just doesn't want us to, like, he doesn't want, not particularly us, he just doesn't want anyone to be living above him. So
Well, then he should not live on the bottom story of a like
That
that.
is-
That's.
it
It's
is a
not
choice.
like they built the
It is a
second
choice
story
he
after
made.
he bought the thing.
I know. It's very much like it was technically on the market. If you wanted it, you could have just tried to buy it. You would not have won. But
All right, we'll become yeah. Do an episode of House Hunters for him or something. Oh my god.
Oh, I know. Yeah, and it's gotten to be like it's very much, it's like there's parts like that where I'm like, ugh, this is not great. But then the other parts is like, yeah, I have gotten like juicy details from one of like friends of the pod, like knew someone from elementary school who actually used to live down there, and I went through all of the like ownership histories and been like, oh, there's a little bit of a shared connection here. Interesting. So yeah, there's definitely have done a little bit of a deep dive. Like I definitely feel like, if someone was, it almost feels like something where you could, it feels both like lighthearted and not. Like I could see the direction where this would be like an NPR like research saga. I also see how it's very much like a intense series episodes of Curb. Like, there's two directions it goes. So yeah, that was my roast. But to not fully end it on a roasty note, like that is just like, that is reality. Sometimes people suck. So it's all good. Definitely I've had some more wins than not. And yeah, I also, part of the reason I took some days off is to practice, because on a gig I had in May, which, talking about being rusty in social situations, definitely like, I wasn't like too rusty and being bad, but I would definitely say like my first performance post COVID, I was just like, how do I do this again? And that'll probably be a similar take for performing for a wedding again, even though I've done a few weddings, so I'm not too surprised. And a lot of them, it's like you kind of get into a good groove. But yeah, I've just been prepping for that. It's definitely like different styles of music than I usually play, because I usually am more of like a sad, sassy theme of music, and this definitely more happy, love sappy. So goes into that turn. Definitely like take some things from the old jazz band days and go like, we're just gonna throw that in there. So yeah, it was a week of many events. Yeah, definitely had to get the bitter with the sweet, but more sweet, more sweet.
Right on.
I know. It's a continuing saga. It's our own melodrama within the podcast, our show within the show.
You're gonna have to update us.
I know. I will. Oh,
Mm.
yeah. Hopefully one day I get to have my Wizard of Oz celebration moment. We can only hope. But yeah, that's that's pretty much my end of my toast and roast. They're a little circuitous, but if we're done toasting and roasting, we can get into trivia round one. Trivia.
Who's got the first question for us? How do we want to do this?
I can start off this round and do my questions that are all PTPT focused, and we can see how we have both from a host and a listener perspective, and see where we go from there. So I have about 6 questions, and we'll just roll through them, and then we can take a short break and get into the next round of trivia. and then our misconceptions, and then more trivia. It'll be a nice little trivia club sandwich. So, bring. Question number 1. What landmark anime series has Primetime Party Time done 2 episodes on that include a full series and a rare to find movie?
Yeah, Mary, do you know this one? Because I definitely know this one.
I don't actually.
Ooh.
With a movie.
It's got a movie. It's got a series coming out that had some news today, actually. As of the day that this was published, this episode is being recorded.
Oh, gosh. Now I'm lost. I don't know.
All right. Daniel.
This has got to be Cowboy Bebop.
It is Cowboy Bebop.
This is actually one of my favorite series we've done on Primetime Party Time. It's definitely a memorable one.
It's a good one. So that's question number 1. Points go to Daniel. I don't think we're really doing any points on here. We'll do it Whose Line style. Points don't matter.
I like that.
Question number 2, which I think you will know the answer to. Which children's animated series is beloved by our very own listener Mary, and mostly by all, but weirdly enough, not by the Primetime Party Time hosts?
I do know this. I got this.
Go for it.
Okay. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Correct. He lives in a pineapple under the sea, and he's not our favorite show from TV. So that's question number 2. Now we're getting up to 3. Brum, brum, brum. A lot of these are animated series. What animated series have we covered that is created by Sanrio, starring a red panda whose catharsis from the 9 to 5 is death metal karaoke?
The show, or like the specific, there's a specific character?
The show and the specific character share the same name.
Could win with both.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I do know this. I might not pronounce it correctly, but I think I know. Grugetsk.
Agretzko. I will give you that. Yeah. No, you're so good. No, that is correct. All right, moving on to question number 4. What British sitcom starring John Cleese is one of Primetime Party Time's most streamed episodes? This is slightly deep cut.
Yeah, I don't know. I
like the little flex in the question.
It's somewhat of a flex and also somewhat surprising for our content.
Yeah.
But the answer is, Daniel.
That would be Fawlty Towers.
Fawlty Towers.
Wonderful series I did not know existed before we did the show.
It is really like a beloved series of my childhood, which it says a lot. It really says a lot once you've seen it. All right. Number 5. This is definitely a question on me, which it's, Daniel will get this one. We'll see if you do. What show will Primetime Party Time host me, Tracy, defer to as relevant to almost any medium, even if you maybe don't think it would? It's basically like, what is one of my most favorite shows that I bring up far too often? And hint is that my dog Chibi is named after a character on this show.
Oh, well,
I didn't know that at all.
Okay.
I didn't. I think I know the show. I think we spent part of the first episode of Primetime Party Time on this show, and I think it's come up a couple times since. And I think at some point we should do a deep dive. Is it the one where Jennifer Love Hewitt did a song for this show?
Perhaps that is a deep cut knowledge that I don't know. Let's see if you got it.
We got a request to play it on the site. Is it Sailor Moon?
It is Sailor Moon. And also Jennifer Love Hewitt did a song for Sailor Moon. How
That's
do I
my
not know
understanding.
this?
I don't know.
Makes me feel bad as a little, I don't know if there's like a word for like Sailor Moon fans like Swifties, because I was thinking of saying Moonies and then I was like, no, don't say that.
Sailors. Like,
I know, like like bunheads, maybe. Oh no, but that's like what they call ballerinas. We'll have to think about that one. And yes, we will have to do a dedicated episode. We'll have to get a friend of the pod, Heather, to join for that because we're equally obsessed, I think. And then final question is Primetime Party Time here on the show. We cover a lot of shows from our not so distant past, but not too many that are very recent. And what show have we covered that is most recent to air?
I think I do know this one.
Yeah.
Is it Schitt's Creek?
Oh, it's not, but that actually is really close. It's
Okay.
honestly a pretty close call by like maybe only like, I don't know, a year or 6 months or less, because this one came out not that long ago. The answer is WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Oh, okay.
But that is an episode that, yeah, like we covered that, and I was like, this is one of, pretty much aired it not too long after the actual show ended its first season. I think I'm not sure if it's getting continued on more. It seemed like it was like a limited series type deal, but
Right.
if it does, we shall see. And that ends round one. But Mary, you got quite a few on this round.
Oh,
We'll see.
Thank
We'll
you.
see how we do
Brushing
for
off
the
my
next
shoulders.
round. Yeah. After the break.
So Mary,
All right, Daniel.
Oh, yes, Mary
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
only have us on to play trivia tonight. You also had a topic that you wanted to discuss. What do you got for us,
yeah.
Mary?
Yes. So I mean, this, I don't know if I'll just come off as a very unorthodox child, or I mean, but honestly, I feel like everybody can relate to maybe not all of these, but at least some of these, and that is childhood misconceptions brought about by TV. And I mean, just think like, maybe you believe something that you saw on TV. You might have seen a cartoon with a parachute and they like glided down, so you thought you could grab a grocery bag or like a bed sheet and jump off the couch, things like that. So I'm just curious if anybody can relate to that or, has ideas of their own.
I did allegedly did jump off the couch with sheets. My
Okay.
parents tell me all the time. So yeah, probably got that from television. Don't know why. I thought that was a good idea. I have an example of this.
Oh yeah, what's so?
It's not television or movie related. It's actually a song. Are you two familiar with the artist Jewel?
Yes.
So in
Yes.
2003, Jewel drops this album. I think it's called like 0304.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? So my
I
mom's
think so.
bumping this album. We're driving around, and she's just kind of pulling me shopping. It's like a Saturday. I don't have any choice in the matter. I'm in elementary school, and this track called "Intuition" comes on, and it's so feminine that I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "What is intuition? Why has nobody ever discussed this with me?" And I thought it was something that only women had because of the song, because of how feminine the song was and how like into my mom was. And I was just like, what is the secret? Like I was well into my teen years by the time, and I, every once in a while it would follow me, and I'd always have this sort of like in the back of my mind, like, why has this not come up yet? Why is nobody teaching us about it? Why does half the population just have this thing, and I don't know what it is, and I can't feel it? I don't know how to
There's
follow my
something
heart, follow my
about
intuition.
women's intuition. That is like a idiom. And I'm like, I
Okay.
wonder if that's what that song was.
Yeah, it
talking
must
about.
be. Yeah, because I was okay. So maybe it is a real thing, and it's not a misconception. But I was definitely kind of slighted by the fact that nobody had discussed this topic with me, and that I had heard it in a song, and
Yeah.
nobody had been talking about it even afterwards. And it was a while before I actually found out what intuition was, and that it wasn't some superpower or some shit that I was never gonna really understand.
Did you say like you were wondering like into your teen years?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah,
Fully.
Okay.
yeah, fully.
Well, I
yeah.
do have an example of something similar. Like, well, as far as like timeline goes, I'm almost ashamed of. But it's not TV related per se. But I had these dogs when I was younger that were just a little too much for my parents to handle, and I guess they found new homes for them, but they couldn't. They didn't want to be like the bad guys, and they let me believe that they ran away. They let me they let me look for these dogs, right? Anyways, so just, I'm sure, everybody has some like,
Yeah.
parenting regrets. I don't know if they regret it, but I thought that was, anyways, I was so like distraught at nighttime. I brought it up to my mom and I was like, where are they gonna sleep? And I think she was just trying to like console me, but like keep up the lie. Like, I don't know. But she's told me, oh, don't worry, dogs don't sleep. And it sounds so silly now, but like probably till I was like 19 or 20, like I knew dogs slept, like it just made sense, but I never thought about it. And I just carried the perception like, oh, dogs don't sleep. And I didn't have like the epiphany till I was about 19 or 20. I mean,
They're magical creatures. Yeah. Okay.
They're like,
Yeah,
they're
that's
just always in a
definitely-
good mood, never
right,
sleep.
yeah. Right. I mean, like I know they laid down and closed their eyes, but they didn't like, I don't know. That just, it
But
sounds
they
odd.
didn't get like a REM sleep,
I get right.
just
Yeah,
rested.
sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just so many like from television though that I don't know, again, I might have just been like an unorthodox child, but like
No, share a few.
Toy Story. If you've ever watched Toy Story when you were like younger, maybe you didn't necessarily like, oh, believe your toys like totally come to life, but it did like make you wonder, like, when I'm out of the room, are they like running around? And then like, if you open the door really fast, do they just like drop, like
How
Yeah.
how traumatizing was we had a friend in the neighborhood that we grew up in. I don't know if you were there for this, but her older brother took her Barbies out to the pool and played t-ball with them and knocked their heads off and saw how far into the pool it was a traumatizing day. He would pull all sorts of stunts that we would have to sort of like sit. He was our Sid.
Okay.
And
I think I know who you were talking about because
so wait,
I will admit I think I participated in that.
and you thought that they might. Oh, that's cold. That's cold.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I connected the two per se, but I definitely did participate in that. But I mean, another one would be like, oh my gosh, listeners gonna be like, oh my gosh, she needs to like see somebody.
No.
Cats versus dogs. I don't know if you remember that movie.
I remember that one. It's like the actual animals, but they like kind of are like at war with each other, kind
Right,
of, but
there's,
they're
like,
like
secret
organized.
agents, like,
Yeah, I
right.
remember that one. It did make you think like, are the animals like up to stuff when we're
Are
not
they up to
around?
stuff? And I think my biggest thing was like that and like other movies. Like, I feel like there was just like a whole, I don't know about more recently, but I feel like there was like a whole era about just like, dogs and cats or whatever, just pets, like keeping the secret that they can talk, but there's just like this animal code, like you don't let the humans know you can talk. But
Oh, I feel that.
you
Yeah.
would look at your pet and be like, you can trust me. You know what I mean? Like, I'll keep your secret.
Watch cats and
you can
dogs
talk,
with
just
them.
give me a
Just
little
like try
sentence,
to
right?
push the hint. Yeah.
Right. I know. Yeah.
Oh, I fully talk to my dog like as if she understands. Sometimes it seems like she does because every once in a while I'll be like, if you can chill for like 30 minutes while I finish this, I will take you on a good walk after that. And she'll kind of look at me
Aw.
and then she'll snuggle. And pretty much on the dot, she'll be like, "Meow."
Oh.
Like like maybe it's not exactly 30 minutes, but when a certain amount of time has passed, she's like, okay, I'm now due for mine. My
Oh.
treat of which you spoke of. So yeah, there's something there with that. I don't know. Some of these TV misconceptions are like very like I don't like there's like movies that are kind of like there's one I watched as an adult, but like it kind of makes you it's like a really interesting concept. It's called Pompoko. It's an old Ghibli movie. And it's about these like raccoon dogs. They're called like tanuki, and they're upset because the city is like doing like deforestation to like build these apartments, and they're losing their homes. And it's like the raccoons are trying to like take their like land back, so they do all these like they're doing all these missions, but like the raccoon dogs in like folklore are known to be somewhat magical, so some of them would like turn into humans and like do like they would just like go through the city. But it was funny how they did it, because they would always say like, oh, they have like dark circles under their eyes, and it's just supposed, like you normally
Mm.
just thought like these people were tired, but then it was supposed to make you think like some of these human looking people are actually like the raccoon dogs. And then yeah, but like some of them would actually live as their like animal self, and you would see them like just being like taking food out of the trash and like just doing all this stuff. I don't know. It was like a funny like way of like framing it, where it's like, oh, some of them will just become humans and stay humans forever and live amongst the humans. And I was like, oh, but like if you watch that as a kid, you'd be like, oh my gosh, some of the really tired people, they're totally tanuki. So like there's like fun stuff like that, or like I feel like even as an adult, watching movies like Coco or like Spirited Away like makes you think about like spirit world and be like, oh yeah,
Yes.
that
Yes.
happens. And like
Some
and
are
I'm
like,
like and I'm like not fully someone who'd be like, that doesn't exist. I'd be like, if you're in the right place, the right time, you're going to spirit world, man.
I mean, you know what? That reminds me of like, not like getting taken away, but like, did you guys ever watch? I think it was mostly on PBS, Dragon Tales, and there was
Oh
like
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
the rainbow stone or whatever, and you said the chant, and it like took you to Dragonland.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh! But I mean, some of them, I mean, are like creepy almost, and like you just, I mean, how many like The Nightmare Before Christmas or whatever, like where Monsters Inc. like that one is a more lovable movie, but like
Yeah.
perpetuated the idea of like a boogeyman or a monster in your
Yeah.
closet, like things like that.
It's
And
true.
yeah,
Anybody ever
or
take their like grandparents' dachshund and just like put a backpack on and walk out into the city with nowhere to go and try to catch lizards and rats and stuff and bring them back with like try to find other ones to fight? No, I'm just kidding. I did put a backpack on and wander Santa Barbara once, wishing I was in Pokemon. I did not lug
Aw,
my grandmother's dachshund with me though.
No, but that would have
you're
been
ahead of your
cool.
time that
Yeah,
before Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. You were ready. You were ready
It's
for
a
the
good
Pokemon
time.
Go
You know,
of
I
the
play a little
future.
Pokemon. You know, we get some good stuff here.
your
But
points
yeah,
really remind me of like I maybe it was the first one. I think it was the first one, like the ending of the first Men in Black movie, and like we're all
oh
just a little
yeah,
galaxy in a marble, like hanging off like a collar or like like something like that. Or it's a Dr. Seuss movie, the Christmas one,
oh
The
the
Grinch.
Grinch.
Yeah,
Oh
and like the
yeah.
beginning, it's like they live on a tiny little snowflake, you can't see with your naked eye, but they're there, just like things like that. But I think the creepiest one, I just don't like to go anymore, because of Not at the Museum.
Oh yeah,
If you have ever walked in a Madame Tussauds like wax museum, and it's dark or it's not busy, like it's freaky. Like I went to one in San Antonio, and it was just,
ooh,
you after that watching that at the museum, like you just expect them to like move. I don't know, that's just me, but like just creepy. But yeah, that and I mean this one might be silly, but like when you see like something in slow mo weather cartoon or whatever.
Oh,
Like how many kids like
yeah.
tried to run in slow motion at like one time, and like maybe you thought you looked like cool or whatever, you know.
I think too that you always used to think that like quicksand and like all the things from like the Bugs Bunny era of cartoons, like anvils and piano droppings and like dynamite. You're like, these are some like real terrors that I'm going to have to deal with as an adult. Like I have to be really
Yeah.
careful not to accidentally go into the quicksand. And then later you're like,
Absolutely.
these were extremely exaggerated cartoons.
I definitely thought quicksand was going to be a bigger problem than it is, you know?
Yeah, definitely remember we had like a little minor quicksand under the house, and I do recall sort of with your brother Mary, like definitely testing in quotes our luck with it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I mean, some misconceptions are more like, I think, like almost physical like that, like brought into like the real world, like not like, you know, like obviously we didn't feel like physically see monsters or whatever, but like seeing sand or whatever. I have one that might just make me sound stupid, but I feel like we all tried it maybe once. Is when you've looked at a TV back in the day and maybe like the camera angle changed, but you weren't done looking at one direction, you might have tried to look around the corner per se, like tried to look at a frame. You know what I mean?
Every editor's heart. That's hilarious though. that's kind of a cool concept.
Over there, try to. I think that was more like with tube TVs, maybe it was the shape.
I think that's a really good point. I think honestly, Mary, I think the philosophy behind all of these is as described in the movie Step Brothers. There's that great scene where is it Dale's dad comes out and he tells them, you know, the story about how he used to play around as a dinosaur or whatever, and he used to, run down, terrorize the kids on the street. And then one day his parents said, hey, like, you can't do this anymore. You're 17. Go get a job. But then he tells the two stepbrothers, he tells them, but don't ever lose your dinosaur. And that's kind of what I'm getting from all these. I kind of love.
That's true.
I love especially the trying to look around the TV, the trying to see like, oh no, like what else is in this frame? What else is in this world? Like that's I love that.
Right. Your brain was just wired differently. That just the younger age. But like, I mean, some of them are quite funny. So Pinocchio, like people say, oh, your nose is growing when like someone maybe thought you were lying or whatever as a kid. But definitely something I saw like more recently, like on TikTok, there's a bunch of parents saying they actually tell their children that when they're lying, their ears turn red. So when they're covering their ears and telling their parents something, the parent knows that they're lying because they're covering their ears. So I'm like, oh, I don't have kids, but I gotta like
devious.
Take notes, you know.
That's
like, wow, that's interesting. I'm just like, I feel like in the olden days, they're just like, we know you're lying. Why? Because you suck at it. Because it's obvious.
Oh,
maybe the kids are more cunning these days.
I hope so. No, I don't hope so. Do I? Yeah.
Depends on the situation. But Daniel, are we ready for trivia round 2?
We're doing more? Are we ready? That's a good question. Yeah, you know what? I think we're ready. Let's go ahead and go to more trivial questions. All right, so Mary, you and I both still have some questions that we brought up for each other, ish, I suppose. Did you want?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. All right. The first one I have is maybe some people might roll their eyes. I'm a diehard Harry Potter fan. So, how many Horcruxes did Voldemort create in Harry Potter?
7.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
And then, what movie had the quote, "Am I not turtle enough for the Turtle Club?"
Oh, Tracy, yeah, you got it. Yeah, because I think I know this one because I've known Mary a very long time. She was a big fan of this quote back in our carpool days.
Is this from like the Turtle movie?
Right, yeah.
Oh, I am blanking on the name of this movie, and yet it was so popular.
It's Mike Myers.
The character's name was Pistachio.
Oh, it's a spy movie.
No.
I don't know if it was Mike Myers.
It might not have been Mike Myers.
I think
actually.
the actor's name is Dana something.
Oh, Dana Carvey.
Oh, Dana Carvey.
Yeah, because
Sorry,
it was the one where he's like, Master of Disguise.
Master
Yes.
of Disguise.
Yep. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's not The Mask. They both came out around, well, not really that similar, but I don't know. They always reminded me of each other for some
His
reason.
name was Pistachio, the character, but I didn't want to give away his last name because it is Disguisey in the movie.
Wow. That's
Pistachio
something else.
Disguisey.
Good job, guys. That's go team.
If you're ready for the next one,
Yes.
Please.
what TV show proposed the idea and later made it come to fruition? The game Cones of Dunshire.
Oh, I love this. Oh yeah, yep.
This one's all you, Daniel.
Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Yes.
It's an absolute
One
favorite.
of the games I wish were, I guess it did come out a little bit limited edition and it came with a t-shirt, but I actually couldn't find it anywhere online.
They
But I
released a
knew
retail version?
I don't know if it was retail. I
Even
don't know if it
have
was
real-
like some like special event. I'm not sure.
Yeah, right.
Because
But
if
anyway.
it
What was
is
left over from the prop
retail,
department,
we're buying it.
right? Have a Cones of Dunshire night on primetime
I
party time.
love it.
And this one, I can't even remember how old this movie is, but which movie exclaimed, "I'm a peacock, you gotta let me fly"?
Oh, I don't know.
I am stumped as well.
The Other Guys with Marky Mark and Will Ferrell.
Oh, I've only ever watched the intro to that, and I've watched the intro to that like 20 times because it's kind of iconic. The aim for the bushes part, right? Is it the same movie?
I don't know.
Oh God! All right.
I'm not sure. But no, I used to watch that movie a lot. Like, I don't know about my taste now with it, but I used to think that was like, comedy
The
gold.
best.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then what American icon said, "Samantha"? I don't even know a Samantha.
Oh,
Tracy, that's got to be you.
I know, right? But
Sound like we're on the same team.
I know. It does
Knew
feel
it.
that way.
Probably came out the past couple years.
Past couple years. I know what it is, but then I don't know the name.
It's Olaf from Frozen 2.
You know what?
Oh.
I actually have not seen Frozen 2.
Okay.
There's a reason I'm like, I know this. I'm like, no, I don't. But it probably is like referencing something else where I'm like, I don't even know her. Where I'm like, oh, that's like an old timey thing.
You're doing
Yeah,
good
I'm
Olaf, Josh Gad
definitely-
impersonations right now.
Definitely a animated movie connoisseur. So
So we like to hear.
the actor. Okay, here's the next one. The actress who played the lead role of Allie Hamilton in The Notebook also played what iconic blonde character in another movie of the same exact year?
Oh, Mean Girls, and she's Regina George, and it was Rachel McAdams.
Yes. Oh wow, I'm impressed. I learned that recently. I was mind blown. Like,
I know.
she doesn't look like the same person, honestly. All right. Where can I watch a scene where the main characters attempt to intimidate staff by writing a letter stating, "Dear Mr. Royal Hampton"?
Oh, White Chicks.
Yes. Yes. Classic.
I am so effing pissed.
I'm a white woman in America.
It's even funnier now. was then. And then they're apparently making another one soon. I saw
Oh,
that in
really?
the news. Yeah. And like
Oh, wow.
I mostly because yeah, apparently like I didn't really put it together that it was supposed to be like a spoof on Paris Hilton and Nikki Hilton, but they apparently always thought it was hilarious, so it was never an issue. And but I think they're actually going to do cameos in the second one.
Wow. See, I can see
Yeah.
that for sure. And I'm so like actually amazed at hearing that, just because when I was like thinking of that question, I had the thought, I'm like, oh, would they release a movie like that today, or is that like
Yeah, or can
touchy,
they
just-
not?
right? So I'm
Yeah.
interested to see how that's gonna do.
I know, same. I'm like,
Yeah.
but it's such a treasure comedy movie
Right.
from the past. Even though there are some scenes where I'm like, this was made in the 2000s. But also it's a Wayans brother movie, so I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
you also gotta know the comedy style you're getting into and be like, yeah, it is. But it's so great. All right.
And the next one is the actress who plays the stepmother in Beetlejuice, Kevin's mom in Home Alone, and voices Sally in The Nightmare Before Christmas, also plays which renowned and loved TV character whose show was actually featured not too long ago on this very Primetime Party Time podcast.
Catherine O'Hara, Moira Rose, Schitt's Creek.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to go, Tracy. That was good.
I love her.
What movie inquired, "What is this? A center for ants?"
If you don't, I'll do it.
That's Spaceballs, right?
No,
No?
What-
Zoolander.
Oh, that's Zoolander.
Zoolander.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Listeners,
Daniel,
can
I
I-
don't
I've
know
seen
how we're friends
Zoolander
right
once.
now.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was
Did you
once
go
a
to
year.
my 17th birthday? Because I think I made everyone watch.
I might, yeah. No, you were there when I watched Zoolander, so that's what I'm trying to say.
I feel like that happened.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to get my boyfriend to watch it, because I feel like it's a sin not to watch that movie.
Oh yeah, it's
It is
required
definitely a
reading,
classic,
required
for
viewing. Yeah.
All right, number 10. On the occasion of asking questions and answers, what movie gave the iconic response to a wrong answer by saying, "What you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul."
What's bad is that I quote this a lot, and yet I'm blanking on the actual title of this movie. Daniel, do you have this one?
No, I've heard the quote, and I can't place it.
Ah,
Do you have any
okay.
other hints?
If this is a hint at all, I feel like this character sometimes, at my age, going back to school.
Oh, it's from Billy Madison.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
Nice.
1995's Billy Madison. Mhm.
It's for when they do the like kind of like Jeopardy style
Right.
round. And I know this because listener and boyfriend of the show, Sean, we like to quote this one a lot of like, and everyone is now dumber. Having fun here to each other in all good fun.
Last and final question, just because this is such a staple in the television world. How many seasons of the long-standing show Grey's Anatomy are there?
Wow, that's
such a good question.
Thank you.
Like Grey's Anatomy is the show that just keeps restarting, rebuilding itself, and just having so many seasons. And I know right now they must be in their, I think they're 12th or 13th. So if they did like 20, I want to say per season, I'm gonna guess that they're around like 215.
Oh, I don't know how many about episodes. I actually don't know that offhand, but just how many seasons are there? I will say
Oh,
the first guess is incorrect. So if you think it's above or below that.
I think it's between 15 and 17.
I'll go with 14.
17 seasons.
17.
17. That's a lot.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Brava. Love it. Love Shonda.
Everybody does. She's got those Netflix deals right now, right?
Oh yeah. We gotta wait and see on some of those. See what comes next.
Mary, those were great questions.
Those are such slamming it out of the park.
Tracy, I'm impressed at some of those answers.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, very much so.
All right. So we getting into our final round.
Final round of trivia. I got a couple questions for the two of you now.
Yes.
We're going to start off with the show New Girl. Hopefully you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
In New Girl, they play a game. It's their version of Cone's Dunbar, I suppose. It's called True American.
Yeah.
In True American, what must players do following someone shouting JFK?
FDR.
And there is something else you must do during that rule.
Is it getting...
Is it getting on the furniture?
Or
No.
is it shotgunning a beer?
That's super close, actually. I mean, that's give a
Taking a drink?
finishing your drink is my understanding.
Finishing your drink.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty much. I mean, the fact that you shouted back FDR so fast, nice. All right, on a show that we did here on Primetime Party Time, the Jackie Chan Adventures. I think it was our episode 10. What are the names of Valmont's enforcers?
Ooh.
You guys think about that one.
I'm stumped.
I might have to. Yeah, I'm tapping out.
Finn, Ratso, and Chow. I knew this was probably going to be the hardest one.
Ah, that is a toughie. Would have known it during the Jackie Chan Adventures week.
Right,
Not-
right. But it's
Not
been,
now.
it's been a long time.
It's been a minute. Makes me want to rewatch it. Love
Well,
it.
we have 4 more seasons we might
That's
have to
also
tackle.
true. We have 4 more seasons. That will definitely be 4 more episodes.
We could do it.
We can always do it.
What series is this show within a show from? Or I'm just going to give you the log line for the show. Bonus points if you know the name. A dad who died on his birthday visits different people on their birthdays to help them work through their own issues. If you need a hint, I'll give you the name of the show.
Nice dies on their birthdays. Visits other people. Give us the show.
It's called Birthday Dad. Of course it is. But that might give you some like insight into the tone.
I'm only upset that I didn't just try to guess. Birthday Dad.
Yeah, always
Not yet.
give it a shot.
It's not Family Guy.
No. It's
All
I mean
right.
it's not that far off in the sense that it is an animated series.
Okay.
Hmm.
Is it animated series? It's not The Simpsons.
No.
No.
It
All right,
is
give it to us.
BoJack Horseman. Mr. Peanut Butter stars.
That's
I
right.
have not seen that.
Oh, Mary, you got to watch BoJack Horseman.
Oh yeah,
Do I?
BoJack Horseman is amazing.
Okay.
And I apparently need to rewatch it because I don't remember what show Mr. Peanut Butter was on. So it's about time.
Adding it to my list.
Very good. In 2009, this show won the Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Original Song, main title, and promo for this theme song.
Oh,
Daytime.
2009.
Is it?
We do mention it briefly in our theme songs episode, which I think was like 22 or something.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Would it be Days of Our Lives?
No.
Is it close?
That'd be
at all?
amazing if No, this is another animated series
Oh.
actually.
Oh, but a daytime. Oh, daytime Emmy animated
This-
series. Animaniacs?
No. 2009. This show ran within the
2009.
mid
Oh yeah,
thousands.
that's wrong.
This show was so confident in its theme song that it gives up an entire minute just for the opening credits. Like, you think the theme song should logically end, and they throw it an entire second verse.
2009.
Performed by Phil
maybe
Knott.
not. What was that?
I don't know.
last
I'm giving you stuff that you won't know. Written by Anthony Vanderberg and John Brighthop.
I'm just thinking, like, I don't know if it was 2009.
It's a
Oh,
teen
no, wait, that's
version
the
of
big-
Friends.
Oh,
Animated
Oh.
teen version of Friends. Canadian production.
I'm tapping
no,
out.
they're
You
not
married her.
Degrassi.
No, Degrassi's
not
kind of getting
animated.
close.
That's not animated either.
And Degrassi's not getting close at all. The series is 16.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, if you guys don't know 16, go watch 16. It's incredible.
Oh, now I will.
It's a really good show. I really like it. All right, my final question, and
Yeah.
it has two. Well, no, it has one bonus question to it.
Oh, fun.
Which television series took home the most primetime Emmy Awards in 2020?
In 2020. Was it Schitt's Creek?
It absolutely was.
Okay, that was definitely my guess.
Schitt's Creek happened to win Outstanding Comedy Series. What won Outstanding Drama Series?
Ooh. Is it Killing Eve?
No.
Okay. Guess number one. What other dramas came out last year that were super popular?
A lot of the shows almost blend together because I watch so much TV out of any other year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
This is an HBO series.
Oh.
It's one I'm very fond of. We've not talked about it on this show. Season 3 airs in October.
Oh. Darn it. It's not Euphoria?
No.
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 Not The Righteous Gemstones, because that's not drama.
No, this is like almost Shakespearean.
Almost Shakespearean.
It inspired me to read the book Disney War.
Oh. I'm at a
not
blank.
about the Murdoch family, but
It's close.
about the Murdochs and the Sumners and a bunch of other media families.
Oh, kind of like Arrested Development, but of media families.
I describe it
without
to
being
people.
funny.
Yeah, I describe it. Well, it is funny. I describe it to
Oh.
people as Arrested Development meets a bunch of other things, really.
Okay. All right, give it to us.
All right, it's Succession.
That's right. Of course, that's like one of the biggest shows I haven't watched.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
yeah.
I
I
should
feel
get into
so
it.
Out of the loop. I have not heard of that, but it sounds like a big deal.
Yeah,
not-
it gets a lot of acclaim. I watched it this year,
does.
and I really love it. I really love it. People are somewhat, divided on whether they want to watch the characters because the characters are rich, awful people
They're
in a sense.
problematic, yeah.
They're problematic people.
You're not rooting for them.
It's the family that owns a fictional version of Fox News. And like the media empires and the parks and the media and whatnot, and it's a really, really interesting sort of take on a story about that. And like I said, it feels Shakespearean. It's really, really fun. It's really, really great. It's a wonderful series, and it took home the Emmy last year. And season 3
Nice.
airs in October.
Woo.
Nice. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. I know of like this year, I think Ted Lasso has been nominated for like so many.
Yeah.
It's at almost the Schitt's Creek level of like, you are on every list. Everyone is very obsessed right now, including me. I am very obsessed.
I did something that maybe was I had an interesting day in the pandemic last year where I kind of
Okay.
sampled the first episode of every Apple series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I've talked about this, and
Yeah.
is
Little
so
aperitivo.
right in episode 1 of Ted Lasso didn't grab me, and I'm not sure if that's because I was one sampled episode into For All Mankind and for
It's not
what
a
is that
hook
video game show?
pilot.
It's not a hook pilot, so that's the
No,
so
it's
I was treating this like this was old school.
retroactively.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's actually a lot of I had to rewatch the pilot later because they set so much groundwork in it that you don't realize is important until they reference stuff. And then you're like, wait a minute, I can go back to the pilot and then be like, oh, so that's what's happening here. And that's why this is important. It's weird. They definitely made that show to encourage you to rewatch because there are a lot of benefits to that. It almost, even though it's much slower paced, they have almost as many like reference and like joke stuffing as say like 30 Rock, where like if you like go to the bathroom and come back, you've missed a few things. I'm like, and you have to like really like pay attention to what's happening. It's funny because it's mostly a comedy. There are some drama moments, but there are things that like, yeah, if you miss it, then it's like later on they will call it back. So it's, which you don't always anticipate with like kind of like lighthearted comedies. It is very heartfelt.
That's good.
So I like it for that reason.
Nothing but praise for it. Maybe I'll have to go back.
I need to watch some other Apple Plus shows because I did really like that. And they obviously are able to get a lot of music rights and things where you're like, well, this makes sense. It is, it is an Apple, because sometimes you'll be surprised. They actually did a recent episode that was really cool, the most recent one to air, where it's like completely rom-com themed. And when I had to rewatch it again to realize, because I started to notice it towards the end, that they do a whole scene where he meets someone in a restaurant, and it's very much a What Harry Met Sally kind of like riff, because he goes like, I'll have what he's having. But then like later in the crowd, they do the whole thing where they zoom in on a couple and they like do the exchange that like they do in that movie and a lot of other like Nora Ephron movies type things. Like, and then when you watch it from beginning to end, you realize they've made like a lot of these like references and structures throughout, and they'll even use some of like the songs in a certain way. So I'm like, it's very creative. So there's the ones where I'm like, ooh, I see what you did there, but only after watching it twice, because I didn't pick up on it until the end. And I was like, I wonder if there's any other moments I missed. And there were. Like they did the kind of like you had me at hello towards the end, like just like all these little things. So yeah, I know it's not like that show needs any more pitches to watch it.
I need to go back to it.
They're okay. The Ted Lasso crew is okay.
Bonus trivia question: which series does the hilarious quote "I'll have what I'm having" bonus points for the sketch name come from?
Ooh, I don't know that.
I mean, it might be many, but Continental Breakfast, Key and Peele. It's my favorite skit from. It's one of my favorite skits from that show.
I'll have what I'm having. That's hilarious.
That reminds me of, I don't know why, it's just like literally just I have a strong image of the scene from The Office where he orders the gabagool.
Oh my!
What he's having?
The gabagool. That's excellent.
I will say that I've been to the restaurant where they have the sign in New York that's like it's Katz's Deli, and they have the little thing of like, I'll have what she's having. They have like a little sign for the table. It is damn good pastrami, guys. If you eat pastrami, you should go.
Well, if I ever find myself in New York, I'll have to at some point.
You have to at some point. Get some good deli food. Delicious stuff. Many pickles.
The talking about like hindsight and like movies and stuff, actually kind of, this is just like off topic a little bit, but like that's actually, other than like TV related childhood misconceptions, like looking back, did you think that it was illegal? Did your parents make you think it was illegal to have the light on in the car when it was dark outside?
Dude, honestly, yes.
Yes.
And like when I had someone in my car do that, I'm like, what are you doing? You can't do that.
And you know what?
I was like,
thinking
what?
About it, that's what the light is for, because you don't need it in the daytime. You don't need it in the
daytime. Yeah.
Right.
That was my question, but I could never stand up to the adults and ask them why. Start the revolution on that.
Yeah, we were still in the generation of children that were like fully like our parents know all and we just listen to them.
Right.
And then like the next generation is questioning them, being like, I know that you've had childhood traumas and you're shaped this way. They know that they're like flawed human beings that aren't perfect, where I'm like,
Right.
we didn't know that. We were just like, they said no lights in the car. And we have no internet. We're not fact checking our parents. We did nothing.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
We were
they
just like, we
have
fell in
more
line.
accessibility to resources just looking it up now for sure.
We were just little sheepies following the herd. We were like, that's what we got to do, guys. And yeah, I do think it does like I think what it really does is it's very annoying for the driver because it like shines a little bit in the rear
Right.
view mirror. But it's
Right.
interesting to be like, it's illegal. Like you can't like I don't know if my parents ever told me it was illegal, but it's very much a like you will never turn the light on in someone's car at night without asking. And they're like,
Yeah.
and really you should just never do that ever. And I was like, huh. So weird. So strange.
Yes. Strange behavior
It's
for sure.
I know, like we do have a lot of misconceptions. Some derived from TV, some just derived from being kids of the 90s. But Daniel, is that a wrap on tonight's trivia and TV misconceptions variety hour?
If you two have nothing else, that's all I got for tonight. Which means
What's up for tonight?
That's it for this week's Primetime Party Time. Thank you for joining us. The show could not have been made without the following amazing people. We're talking our artwork. It was done by Fen. Find her at FenLatte on Instagram. Our theme song was done by Jay Wright, playing right under us. Find him at jwrightmusic.com. Our website with thanks to Coco. Our production manager is BMAC. We had a guest star tonight. Thank you, Mary, for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
You can find episodes of Primetime Party Time on Apple, Spotify, wherever you like to listen to your podcast. If you want to rant, roast, or rave with us, you can hit us up by sending us an email at info@ptptshow.com. You can hit us up on the voicemail or chat box, both on the ptptshow.com homepage, and catch out the next Primetime Party Time next Monday live at 9 p.m. Pacific, right here on ptptshow.com. Yeah, no, but it was great having you on, Mary.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Whole time I was roasting whatever I was roasting earlier this episode. I really wanted to roast the new tech that we have built in. I got to figure some stuff out. We eventually fixed it, but yeah, those first few minutes were interesting live. Oh well.
I can always tell on your face when I'm like, we're having a tech issue right now. Daniel's cruising through it.